Hey up, how are you? So, about 7 weeks ago, completely out of the blue, on a Thursday morning at 8 a.m., I had a stroke. So, I wanted to make an awareness video and also tell you what's going on with me. Right, so I had a stroke. This is how it played out. I got up, I had a shower, I went to the kitchen to make coffee. My arm felt a little bit weird, but not too weird, kind of just a bit weird. And then tried to make coffee and like it just wasn't right. And my partner came in and said, "Do I sound all right?" And she said, "No, you sound a bit weird." And I said, "Let's go to the hospital." And I don't know why I said, "Let's go to the hospital," because it's not really like me to go to the hospital. But fuck, I'm glad I did. Because if you're having a stroke, every minute counts. All right. So there's a saying, fast, FAST, face. If your face has gone wonky, my face hadn't gone wonky. Arm. If your arm goes wonky, my arm had gone a bit dead. Not overly, not crazily, but it wasn't. It didn't feel right. S. Speech. If your speech goes weird, and that's not slurry. That's not necessarily this or that. It's just fucking weird. For me, I couldn't say words. I was struggling to type on my phone as we were driving to the hospital because I was trying to text work saying nip into the hospital because I don't feel great. I didn't know I'd be in there for 3 days. Um, and when I got to the hospital, I couldn't speak to the registrar properly, the receptionist properly, because my speech was going a bit fucking haywire. But not for me, it wasn't slurry. It was just I couldn't form words. And then T is time, because if you're having a stroke, time every second counts. Actually does. For me, luckily, it probably started. I don't know, 7:38. Got to the hospital. They triaged me. They gave me a treatment called thrombolysis, which is like a mega clot buster, and it broke the clot in my head. There were a few side effects. Well, no, there were a few, not side effects, but just associated things with the stroke that meant it was a bit worse than it should have been, but actually not too bad. And it fucking saved me. Since I had the stroke, I've researched a lot about strokes because it's just one of them things, old people have strokes, old people have heart attacks. I'm 50, right? I'm reasonably healthy. I run 25, 30 Ks a week. I cycle. Um, I ride a motorbike. I walk every day. I do 10,000 steps a day. I have a freaking Garmin Phoenix, for fuck's sake. People with Garmin Phoenixes don't have strokes. Now I have a Garmin Health. What is it now? I have a Garmin blood pressure monitor to go with that. Although I didn't really need that. It was a good excuse to buy it. Red of mine. Is this blood pressure? I fucking hope not. Anyway, yeah, so I had a stroke. So what's next for me? Well, during the strokiness of it all. I was in hospital for 2 or 3 days, and one of the things they did is they took me for a thing called a bubble test. Now, everything in this medical world it seems to be based around horror movies. So, bubble test is they take you, well, in the hospital I was in, they take you in a wheelchair, like a scary horror movie wheelchair with a blanket, up through in a knackered old elevator up to like some distant part of the hospital where like the crazy old doctor lives, the crazy old psycho doctor apparently. Although in my case it was a lovely young junior doctor, and and take you into a room. The junior doctor welcomes you, and then they invite their friend in, and they say to their friend, "Have you done one of these before?" And they says, "No, I haven't." It says, "Oh, well, they're pretty easy." And you're like, What are you going to do?" And I says, "We're going to put bubbles in your blood." I've seen American Psycho. I've seen Freddy, like Nightmare on Elm Street, and like Friday the 13th. Putting bubbles in people's blood kills them. So I question this. But it turns out then they do put bubbles in your blood, and it's fine. They put a ultrasound on your heart, pump bubbles in. Well, they mix some bubbles with mix some blood with some saline, so it makes like a foam. Not so much bubble. They don't pump a big load of air in. That probably would kill you. I don't know. I should ask next time. Anyway, yeah, they make foam and they put the foam into your blood, which goes to your lungs, and your lungs sort it out. Anyway, um, they pump it in and then they watch through the ultrasound to see if the bubbles go through maybe a little hole in your heart, which they think maybe I have. A thing called a PFO. So when you're a baby, you're inside the womb, swimming around inside the womb, and you don't need lungs because you're underwater, well, wherever you are. And so the blood from the dirty blood doesn't go. Well, actually, I don't even know. Basically, there's a hole in your heart, and blood can just go through from one side of the heart to the other. Obviously, when you're born, you don't want that. So within the first few weeks of infancy, that hole is meant to close up, similar to the hole in your head. I'm pretty sure the hole in my head is closed up. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that one's gone. I'd have noticed by now. I'm 50. But anyway, potentially the PFO didn't close up. And for most of my life, well, until 7 weeks ago, apparently it wasn't a problem. I asked the doctor whether it was why I was so shit at sports, and he said no. I was like, oh. It's a shame. It would have been good to have an excuse. But anyway, so there's maybe a little hole. Maybe a blood clot went through the little hole from the dirty side to the clean side, then went into my brain, got stuck, caused a stroke. So anyway, they did the ultrasound, and now the next step is a thing called a TOE, a transesophageal echocardiogram, which, again, horror movie shit here. They're going to take me to the hospital. I'm going to go to the hospital willingly on Tuesday, and they are going to jam a camera down my fucking throat, because doing it from the outside is not good enough. Like, there's bones, ribs, and shit in the way. So they want to look at my heart from my throat. So they're going to knock me out with a little bit of, I don't know, something. Not completely knock me out though, just like make me high. And like, I'll be honest with you, I'm a bit worried about this because when I was young, like, I have tried a few different drugs here and there. And one thing I know about me and drugs, when I'm not quite with it, I'm like mega paranoid. And I've also watched fucking Alien. And like, the face hugger sticks a thing down the throat and then the thing comes out the chest. And like, that will be on my drug addled mind. So I really hope that whatever they do, they knock me out properly. I don't know. They do this all the time, so I'm sure it's fine. But anyway, yeah. So I just wanted to like record this for me and for all my 41 subscribers who I don't know who you are, who've watched my random videos over the last 5 years. I don't know why I'm recording this. Maybe, I don't know. Yeah. Anyway, I will record another video after Tuesday. I don't know. Call it my journey. This is my journey. Um, I will record another video after Tuesday and tell you what it's like to have a TOE because I'm shitting it. Yeah. Anyway, have a good night. It's nice to see you and nice to see me. Yeah, there's a gnome. All right, and a boat. See you later.